live. Facebook. Should be rolling. Hey, Facebook's rolling.
So all three is going.
Well, all right, go. Now to Insta. Complete post details.
Bad it doesn't just you hit live and it goes live for all three, huh?
That's what this ADM program is supposed to be working.
Oh.
Facebook is live.
We'll get it. We shall get it.
Thinking. Yeah, no, we got the spinning wheel of death. So we got YouTube and Facebook. Spinning wheel of death for Insta though.
Why does it do that? Well, let's just roll with this. Because but we can't record it, huh?
Nope, I did recording.
Oh, it's recorded?
It's recording.
Okay.
So we're good.
So we can just pull it and then post it and stuff. Okay. Let's roll.
Do it. I'll pull it up on my phone too.
Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Jared Briggs Show. This is day number 2 of going live, talking about things in the topic of money. Today, I want to talk about 3 steps to creating more income. That is the topic of today. Going live, the focus is YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You may have heard, if you've been watching this, the conversation before. For some reason, we go live on stuff and we get the spinning wheel of death. Things aren't working or whatever. So, but we're figuring it out. We're getting those things. But this is going to be recorded, and then we're going to chop it up into shorter form videos, post the whole thing to YouTube and Facebook and all those things. So if you don't catch the live or you want to watch these things, go to Facebook, Instagram. It'll probably post to TikTok too, the short videos. So, to kind of go back, you guys, I was actually having a conversation with Austin that was in here earlier, getting all this set up. He's the master behind connecting all of these things. And I told him we were having a meeting for our day-to-day business job that we're working. And I told him, I was like, the thing that I spend all of my time thinking about is this, the creating content, the coaching side of stuff. And I told him I really enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. So I spend a lot of time thinking about these things, and I've been doing that a lot since 2020. I remember in 2021, 2022, I really spent a lot of time of like, man, how do I really create a platform and create like a personal brand or an opportunity to help people with finances, mindset, growth, abundance. I've had a lot of fun opportunities over the last couple of years to be able to talk with family members or friends and help them in their financial planning, financial wealth creation, getting their mind right, people that desire to create success. So that's what all of this is about. If you guys are looking to win, if you're looking to build, if you're looking to be more successful, to live a better life, I hope I can share something that'll help you. And I was actually looking at something on social media the other day. Somebody posted, somebody that I look up to and I've learned a lot from, and they're like, man, if you can just help one person, like you're doing it. And I'm like, oh, that's right. Like we get so caught up in today's world of, I need to have 100,000 followers and I need to have 500 likes per post and all that. And if one person gets value and it helps them, like that is a valuable thing. That is an opportunity. I'm getting to do what it is that I want to do. So I hope you guys get value from this. But I was really thinking about it, and one thing that I was like, okay, what could I share that would add value? We all want to make more money. I want to make more money. I'm sure you guys want to make more money. You probably have conversations with other people where they want to make more money. It's something that is common, especially with inflation, especially with all of these different things going on. And if you listen to the video that I put out yesterday with the live, I was really talking about a lot of it. You guys, we got to take personal responsibility on ourselves. We can blame the government. We can blame taxes. We can blame inflation. We can blame banking. We can blame all of these things that are going on. But at the end of the day, we can blame them all we want. But what if we flipped the script? What if we learned more what money is, how money works, what to do with money, and we created more income? I realized that in my own life when I was making $1,000 a month. I'm like, I can be freaking incredible at managing my money, but $1,000 a month is only $1,000 a month. So how do I manage what I have now, and how do I increase my income? And I heard this perspective, and it really flipped my mind too. Think about a young child. If you were feeding them some food, maybe like a corn dog or some snacks or whatever, and they just kept throwing them on the floor, and they ask for more, you're going to get annoyed. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to look at the child and be like, no, you just keep throwing them. Clearly you're not hungry, or clearly you don't like them. I'm not going to give you any more. Money's the same way. Why would God give us more money? Why would God give us more income? Why would God give us more financial abundance and ability if we can't even manage what it is that we have now? No different than me as a parent with my little kids. You know, my little boy, he's a little over 1, and when he starts throwing it around, I'm like, all right, we're done. You know, he's done. He's eaten all he wants to eat. Now he's just playing with it. So we take it away. Money is the same thing, you guys. Everything is energy. Like this microphone is made of energy. Everything is made of energy, vibration, all these different things that is put together. I don't even understand all of it, right? God does. Christ does. They're the ones that created all of these things. And so this information that I want to share with you is things that really flipped my mindset and really helped me create a better process and a better system to manage my money. And I'm telling you guys, anybody can do it. Like it is very, very simple. And that is why I really gravitated towards these things that I've learned, especially the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. You guys, I'm going to share that in all my links. Go buy that book, The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a really, really good book to change things in our mindset and our understanding of what is money, how does money work, and how to create a better successful life. And so when we learn those things and implement those things, it helps us. So I want to give you step number 1. Looking back on my life, I'm like, okay, these things that I learned from these books and these other people, what really helped me? And that was first knowing my money. What I mean by that is, how much income do you have? You know, I finally sat down and I was like, okay, last month I made $923, and the month before I made $800 this, and the month after that I made $1,050. Like it was between $800 and $1,000. But when I really sat down and looked at how much I was making, I'm like, okay, now I got a better understanding of where I am financially. Like I know how much is coming in. I'm very surprised at the amount of people when it's like, how much do you make? And they're like, oh, it's roughly this. And I'm like, well, what was the month before? Oh, it's always the same. You know, because they're paid every 2 weeks or whatever. And they're like, oh, it's always within a couple of dollars, unless we have a lot of overtime. And I'm like, how do you not know? You know, how do you not know how much is coming in? Like I can tell you what my wife's check is, and I can tell you how much I make every single month right now, because it is so important to know what your income is and to track that income and to pay attention. And literally, like I have an Excel sheet. I put what my wife makes, what I make, it totals it up. It calculates my tithing for me. And then I manually put in how much is in the checking account. And then I have all my expenses and things. You guys, I don't use any crazy financial tools. I don't use any of these apps or programs. I've looked at them. I've tried them. And I'm like, man, I like just a simple freaking Excel sheet or Google sheet. It is so simple to set up. And then I'm in control of it. And I manually got to do those things. And I like the manual. I like to see it. I like to feel it. I like to type it in. And I can manage all my finances within an hour for the whole month, within an hour. Most time it's 30 to 45 minutes. And that's because I really want to take a look at it and run some figures and look at the savings and the investings. Like I'm spending some time really paying attention to things. When I was advised by this book, Richest Man in Babylon, to know your money. You guys, in here, this is this sheet thing that I went over yesterday. In here, it talks about, like, do you know how much money you're making? Do you know where your money is going? It says they all earn money, yet most of it disappears as fast as it arrives. I hear all the time, people are like, oh, there's always more month than money, or I'm living paycheck to paycheck. That is a product of not knowing. That is a product of overspending. That is a product of just not having a discipline with money. But then we can sit here and people have the audacity to blame everything, but then it's like they don't know their money. They're not managing their money. They have no clue what's going on. They have no financial system. But then they want to blame the government. They want to blame inflation. They want to blame all these things. Like, you guys, if this is you, if you have zero clue as what is really going on with your finances, you don't have a leg to stand on to complain against inflation, to complain against all these things. Now, if you are just crazy disciplined and you know your money and you know what's going on, you have every right to be frustrated. And we all rightfully have the right to be frustrated because there is a lot of fraud and scam and stuff going on. But at the end of the day, it doesn't take our own personal responsibility. And when I had this reality sit in with me that it's like, oh, I'm the freaking problem. I literally remember thinking that. I'm like, I'm the problem. I don't know my money. I don't know where it's going. I'm not managing it. I'm not telling it what to do. You know, it's like, what if you went to work or your business or whatever it is that you do and you literally had no structure? Like, let's say you're an employee for a company and they never trained you and they never told you what to do and they never gave you any resources. You would literally just show up and like look around and be like, okay, well, what do I do all day long? That's exactly what our money is doing. Like, you would go find a different company to work for. Your money is going and finding somebody else that is going to give it time and attention and energy and to manage it. It actually says that in here. Money must be guided or it will disappear. This is out of the book Richest Man in Babylon. Arcot is teaching this. He says, money must be guided or it will disappear. Do you feel like your money is disappearing? You guys, let me tell you a story. Right when I graduated high school, I lived with an aunt and uncle and got a job. And I was making pretty good money for a single 18-year-old dude that had like $600, $800 a month in expenses. That was paying rent. That was paying my vehicle payment, insurance, groceries, all. Like, I could live on $1,000 or less by myself easily, and I was making way more than that. And we planned to go on a Hawaii trip. And I got this idea because I learned it from one of these financial people, like, oh, operate in cash. And so I was operating in cash. And I would take out cash, and I would literally, I kid you not, I would lift the mattress, and I would stick the cash under my mattress. And there was one time I let the mattress down, and do you know how it kind of creates like a little whirlwind? And the next time I lifted it up and counted the money, like I was missing $200 or $300. And I'm like, what the freak? Somebody found out, da, 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 da. Well, I lifted my mattress a little bit higher, and some of the money had blown even further. And I'm like, this don't work. Hiding money under the mattress does not work. Like, I thought I was getting robbed. But I was doing this, and I was trying to operate that way of like, oh, if I operate in cash, I'll know what's going on. And I was still pulling from savings. I was making more money than I needed, but I yet would still have to pull from savings at time to time. And I'm like, what is going on? Why am I paycheck to paycheck when I'm single and I make double or more than what I really need to live on? And then after I read this book and a bunch of other books and started learning this, I'm like, oh my heck, money must be guided or it will disappear. I was not guiding my money. I was not telling my money where to go. I didn't know my money in and out and create a process and a system and tell it what to do and where to go and how to operate and what are my goals and what are my dreams and what are my plans. I was literally just operating like, oh, I need groceries, go buy groceries. Oh, I need this, go buy this. Oh, my truck payment's due, pay my truck payment. Oh, it's time to pay for my rent. Okay, do this. Oh, this came up. Oh, I got to pay for this. Oh. And I was just constantly like operating, but I wasn't telling my money what to do. Life was controlling me. Life was making all of these things come up and happen, and I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't planned for it. I didn't know how to manage it, and I literally was making really good money, and at the end of a year, I remember making this amount. I was making $18 an hour. I remember doing that for a year, and at the end of the year, I had less money than when I started the job because I was, I had a pretty good savings account when I graduated high school because of 4-H and some stuff that I did. And I remember I pulled a couple $1,000s from there. I'm like, what the frick is going on? I'm making way more money than I need to operate, yet I'm pulling from savings. Like, this is a problem. And I still didn't learn how to manage that problem for many, many years after that. So number one is know your money. How much are you making? What are your fixed expenses? Fixed expenses are the ones that are the exact same every single month. So, house payment or rent, car payments, insurance, phone bill, internet, all of those things that are the exact same all the time. Next, what are your variable expenses? Those are the things that change. Groceries, power, electric, water, all of those type of things where it's very similar all the time, but it can be, a little bit, in the winter, this is higher. In the summer, this one's higher, just depending on what it is or what's going on in your life or what you have. Like how every time you run out of toilet paper, for some reason, you run out of toilet paper, paper towels, napkins, paper plates, they never run out just one. It's always all of them at the same time, And so you go buy all of it and you're like, frick, I just bought like $120 in paper stuff. You know how that is? Like that's a variable type of an expense, groceries, gas, all of that kind of stuff. So know your income, know your fixed expenses, know your variable expenses. Why this is important is because you're going to start seeing it. And until I started seeing it, until I started following this system that I was taught, you guys, none of these things are my creations. I literally just took things from other people and started organizing it. It was like, so that I know. So in my Excel sheet, you guys, I literally have it where I put my income, my wife's income, it calculates it, and then I have an equation where that runs my tithing, and then below that, I manually type in what's in the bank account. Because, like in the checking account, because there might have been $100 left over for the month before, or there might have been a balance or whatever, right? And so, if you make, $5,000 a month, and then you look in your checking account and you got paid and there's $5,227.27, okay, there was $227 left over from the month before. You need to manage that again. So I literally go in and I type that. And so that number's right at the top. And then it goes through and I type in all my expenses, each column, each line is here's my house payment, here's this payment, here's this payment, here's this payment. And at the bottom, it takes my income minus my fixed expenses minus my variable expenses and tells me what's left over. And then this is step number 2. You need to create a wealth creation plan. What is it that you want to accomplish? So income, fixed expenses, variable expenses, and then wealth creation. That's where the magic happens. That's where the fun happens. That's where the goals and the dreams and the desires and the passions and the everything that it is that you want to accomplish, that is where those things go into place. And I literally manage these through savings accounts. So in the bank that I operate from, it's a credit union. My wife and I both have access to it. We both operate from the same bank account. We both have a credit card, like one credit card, but we both have a credit card into that balance. So every time she swipes it, I swipe it, it goes to the same thing. I can see what she's buying. She can see what I'm buying. We coordinate, we plan, we do all those things. But then in there, I was like, okay, what if I created some savings accounts and I labeled those savings accounts for specific reasons? Vacations, gifts, my wife a spending account, me a spending account, emergency fund, buying a house, retirement planning, paying off a vehicle, whatever your goals and dreams are, starting a business, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, you can create. And so let's say you get down through your expenses and you realize, you're like, okay, we have $600 left over. I like to leave a buffer because sometimes my wife Venmos her mom or someone and I didn't freaking know what was going on, right? And so my system, my plan, I try to leave $300. So I would literally manage my money down to $300 so that at the end, there's $300 left in the account in case one of us Venmos something comes up that I wasn't aware of, or maybe I missed or something, because then I can look in there and see it, right? But I always leave some money in there for some buffer. So let's say you leave $300 and you have an extra $300. Great. What is your wealth creation plan? What is your strategy? Where is that money going? What is that money doing? What is your purpose? What is your goals? What is your dreams? I met with a couple. This was probably 2022. I think it was. It was in 2022. There was a couple. I met the gentleman through coaching basketball, and he seen me posting about stuff, and he's like, hey, my wife and I would like some help with our finances. I'm like, heck yeah, that's what I like to do. So we did a Zoom meeting, and I told them, I said, get all of your money. I want to know your income. I want to know all of your expenses. And I showed them my Excel sheet, exactly how I set it up, and I actually built one for them, and I put it in there, and I was like, hey, here's his income, here's her income, expenses, blah, blah, blah. And we got done at the end, and I was like, hey, there's $1,800 left over. I'm like, and he's like, no, there's not. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's go through it again. Like, I literally was like, oh, we missed something. We went through it again. And he's like, that's everything, dude. That's all of our bills. That's all of our expenses. That's everything. I'm like, well, it was like almost $1,900 left over. And he's like, dude, there is never $1,900 left over, or $1,800, whatever it was. And I'm like, we just identified the problem. You see, the principle, money must be guided or it will disappear. What was happening, and we're all freaking guilty of this. I just told you guys a couple of stories of me putting money under my mattress and pulling from savings. We're all guilty of it. Unless you learned these things before, good on you. But they weren't telling their money what to do. He was just operating, she was just operating, and they were just spending all of that money. And they really wanted to save. They wanted to get some debt stuff paid off. And so in that plan, we literally labeled some savings accounts specifically for saving, for investing, for paying off debt. We created a whole wealth creation plan strategy where they started transferring X amount of dollars into that account for those purposes. And I need to follow up with him. That was 2022. I haven't talked to him in years. I'd like to know how they're doing and what's going on. I've helped a few people with this. The reason why is because I know what it did for me. I know that it gave me power. It gave me control. I was the one guiding my money. I was telling my money what to do. I was giving it a purpose. I was giving it a plan. And I started realizing, like, holy crap, like we're saving a lot of money where before we struggled saving money. I recently I've been having a feeling. I just been having a like, man, what if something crazy happened? You know, what if war broke out on American soil? What if we had an economic collapse? What if, right? There's a lot of doomsday people out there. I am not a doomsday person. I do not ever want to become a doomsday person. But I do believe in the thing within the scriptures where it says, if ye are prepared, you shall not fear. I'm gonna paraphrase that. If you are prepared, you shall not fear. And that's come to my mind multiple times. And so I just decided, I'm like, oh, I better listen to this. And I'm responsible for my wife, and I've got 2 little kids. Well, you guys, 2 little kids, they have a lot of demand. And so I'm like, I told my wife, I was like, hey, I'm gonna create a plan. I went into my bank account and I labeled specifically one of our bank accounts, and I'm going to put $300 a month in there towards being prepared. You know, water filtration stuff, clothing, packs, food storage type stuff, medical supply stuff, first aid kits and things like that, bullets, guns, fire starter, like anything that I think would be important, right? And I share this with you because in the wealth creation plan, it's really easy, or in our finances, it's really easy to just go month by month, and that's in our mind, and that's in our thoughts of like, I need to get more prepared, or we need to get this credit card paid off, or we need to pay off this vehicle, or hey, we want to go on vacations, or we're tired of living paycheck. It's always in our minds, right? But until we actually create a plan, until we actually create something that we execute and follow on, it's just an idea. It's just a thought. And so I started this in December. I put $300 in December, and I put $300 in January. Well, guess what, you guys? Now I have $600 sitting aside in a specific savings account labeled for the purpose of being prepared. I've started researching. I put together a list of stuff that I need for my wife, for my daughter, for my son, for me. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start knocking these things out. I've been creating a list. I've been researching and learning about things. And I'm like, I'm just going to start knocking these things out. If I pull something up, and it's like $525, great, I'm going to buy it. That thing's knocked out. I got $75 left over. Maybe that'll knock something else out. Maybe it won't. Maybe I save up again the next month. But I'm like, in a year's time, that's $3,600 that's been labeled or purpose for the purpose of being prepared so that we shall not fear. There's just no worry about, hey, what if? I mean, have you guys ever realized that if the trucking system got shut down in the United States of America, semis, grocery stores would be empty in 1 to 3 days? We've seen it in COVID. Well, what if that happened? What if you have young kids? What if they have different medical things or whatever like that? I mean, look what happened when the government shut down. How many people were freaking out because they didn't have money towards groceries, food stamps and all. Like, you guys, it's a real thing. And so step number 2 is creating a wealth creation plan and building this plan specific to you. I shared this yesterday. I don't believe there's one financial plan. I don't believe there's one type of retirement account. I don't believe there's one right way to do anything. I believe the right way is the way that you believe in. I believe the right way is what is important to you. Some people have zero risk tolerance when it comes to money, and they want something that's guaranteed, very, very practically no risk. They don't like debt. Great. That doesn't mean it's right or wrong. That means that is your wealth creation plan. That is what is important to you. That is what helps you sleep at night and what helps you wake up in the morning. It is your plan. It is what is important to the things that you are doing. Okay? So creating a wealth creation plan, if you are married, this is something important to do, you and your spouse. Getting on the same page, knowing your income, knowing your fixed expenses, knowing your variable expenses, and now managing your money so that you're telling it what to do. I mean, if you have a bunch of projects or things that you want to do, what if you and your spouse or you individual or whatever was like, hey, we're going to put $200 a month, boom, into this savings account. This project that we want to do is $1,800. We're going to put this $200 in there, maybe anything extra that we can come up with until we get to $1,800. When we get to $1,800, bam, we're going to execute. My wife and I have used this type of a plan since 2017 when we learned all these things. We still use it today with all of our house projects that we're doing, goals and dreams, things that we want to buy, investments that we want to do. We execute this all the time. We talk about it. What's the next one? What are we doing? Where's our money going? I shared with her, hey, I'm going to take a little bit of money that we've been using for some of these other things that we're doing, and I'm going to label it for this preparedness because I don't want to fear. I want to be prepared. I want to know no matter what freaking happens, I can take care of my wife. I can take care of my kids. I can provide for them. I can protect them. They're not going to go hungry. They're not going to go thirsty. They're not going to go cold. They're not going to go any of those things, right? So that's something important to me. And so I created a wealth creation plan, and I established this plan within my financial system that's now an item. That's now a label, and money gets put there every single time that we can execute with. You guys, the principle, money must be guided or it will disappear. Have you ever been around somebody that is financially successful? Like, they know what is going on, and they talk about money with fine detail. They talk about it with a plan. They talk about it with a purpose. This is something that I know for a fact that'll help you in the sense of gaining more discipline, gaining more understanding. Now, I shared with you that this is a 3-step system to increasing income. I haven't even talked about increasing income, but I want you to really think about it from a perspective of knowing your money, creating a wealth creation plan. Do you think, I want you to think about this and this is a rhetorical question. I really want you to think about this. If you knew your money in and out, and you created a wealth creation plan and was very disciplined and strategized with it, do you think and do you feel that you would make more money in your life? And I'm not even talking about increasing your monthly or day-to-day income. I'm talking about being more disciplined. Don't you think you would find more money in your life? Money that was just, maybe you've got subscriptions that are just sucking you dry. Maybe you are spending money in some way and your spouse is spending money in some way. Maybe there's something going on. Maybe you're just mindlessly doing something out of a habit or out of a scarcity or out of a program that you have inside of you. You guys, if you want to understand programming, there's a really good book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. I have listened to this book multiple times. I've read this book multiple times. My book is all marked up. And I've realized that I operate off money because of the things that I've heard, that I've learned, the programs that I've instilled. So maybe you've got things going on that is causing you to get rid of money, that is causing you to let go of money, that is causing you to spend money mindlessly and not smart ways. I believe that by you creating a system where you know your money and you create a wealth creation plan, that is automatically going to help you increase your access to money, because most people are already making pretty good money. Like, there's a lot of couples out there that are making $100,000 plus per year or really close to it that are paycheck to paycheck, 100% paycheck to paycheck. And there's good things and bad things of why that is. But by you becoming very disciplined with your money and knowing what it is, I honestly feel like and believe, because it worked for me and my wife. Guys, I've told the story where our first savings thing that we did was $25 a month. 25 a month isn't much, but after 6 months and increasing that amount and being disciplined and being very knowing with what our money was going on, we were saving more money every month than we ever thought was possible. And we just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. So increasing income is going to come because you know your money, you create a wealth creation plan, and now you are the guide. You are the steward. You are telling your money what to do, where to go, how to operate, and all the good things with it. But I am going to share some insights on increasing income. The first 2 steps, if you do those first 2 steps, I believe that you will increase income automatically. But if you're making $5,000 a year, how cool would this plan be with $5,000 a month? How cool would this plan be with $6,000 a month? That's another $1,000 a month that you can manage and put to work and build your wealth creation plan. You guys, I don't like budget. I haven't really said that, but I hate the word budget. Budget is limiting. Budget, like, who likes to go somewhere? Like, could you imagine going to like Lagoon or a theme park or some cool place, Disneyland or something? It's like, okay, here you are, but you can't ride this ride or 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 this ride. You'd be like, what the frick are we here for? Right? That's what a budget is. A budget is, okay, here's your money, but you can't do this and you can't do this and you can't do this. And I don't want anybody to tell me what I can and can't do. So I believe in a wealth creation plan. If vacations are extremely important to you, then we put that into your wealth creation plan. If having money to blow and buy whatever it is that you want, great, we're going to create that into your wealth creation plan. I get money every month and my wife gets, I literally have an account with my name labeled on that account. I think there's like $380 in it right now. I literally put a specific amount of money. My wife and I both have agreed on a dollar amount. I put, every time I manage our money, my wife gets her portion, I get my portion. Sometimes it takes me a minute to save up and buy what it is that I want to buy, but I can buy whatever the heck it is that I want. If I want to go buy a new gun, I'll go buy a new gun. If I want to buy something for whatever, I go do it. That is our money. That is a wealth creation plan, a strategy, an idea. If driving the newest, brand new, coolest, awesomest vehicles that are out there, if that's important to you and it's a have to, great. We're going to create that in your wealth creation plan. If you have a 3,000 square foot home and you'd really like a 5,000 square foot home, great. We're going to put that into your wealth creation plan. We're not going to create a budget. We can and can't do. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't. To heck with that crap. We're going to create a wealth creation plan. I believe there is a way for all of us to be good husbands, to be good fathers, to be good parents, to be good everything, and also make a lot of money, to enjoy our money, to live a good life, to enjoy the beautiful things of this world, to enjoy the beautiful creations that have been created. If your goal is to have a Ferrari, I believe there's a way for you to buy a Ferrari because you want to enjoy what a Ferrari is and what it does. There is a way to be all of it. There is a way to be a good person, to be successful in our career. You don't have to give up your family life. I believe in all those things. But we create that within our wealth creation plan. We create that by being disciplined. We create that by being specific. We create it by being the master of our life, being the steward, and we're telling it what to do. We're telling life, I want these things. Here's my vision board. These are the things that I want. This is the career that I want. This is how much money I want to make. This is the vacations we want to go on. This is all of the stuff that we want. This is how much money we want to make. There's a way for all of it, you guys. I truly believe that. I don't want to live in limitation. I don't want to live by a budget telling me what I can't do. My wife and I enjoy going out to restaurants. Great. We're gonna put that in our wealth creation plan. We're going to go on some cool vacations. We're going to do those things because it's possible, okay? So that's why I call it a wealth creation plan. I want you to expand your mind. I don't want you to think in limitation. I want you to think in terms of and, okay? I had an experience where I invested into a coach. It was the most money I'd ever spent in my life on a coach, and that was to help me with all this podcasting stuff. They gave me all the gear, training, and met with this individual. Well, when I wrote the check and cashier's check, and I gave it to him, I texted him and I said, it's about damn time that I did something towards the life it is that I really want to live and what it is that I want to do. And he texted back some really good positive things. And I even told him, I said, because I just bought a dirt bike like months before that. Paid cash for the dirt bike. And I even told him, I'm like, I'm so committed and so interested in doing this that if I have to sell my dirt bike, I will. And he said, no. Jared, we don't operate that way. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you need to operate with expansion, with abundance, with I can have this and all of these things. Like there's a way. How about I just develop my mind, develop myself as a person, develop all of these things to increase and be better? I love that. I was like, holy crap, that's how I want to operate my life. I don't want to be like, okay, I've enjoyed the dirt bike for a while, but now I'd like a four-wheeler, so I have to sell the dirt bike and go buy the four-wheeler. Well, what if there was a possibility and capability I could buy the dirt bike and the four-wheeler and enjoy both of them at the same time? So I love that. And that's what a wealth creation plan is for, is we're going to do all of it. We're going to create a plan to enjoy all of those things. Now, I just traded my dirt bike a couple of months ago for a horse. My goals, my dreams, my passions, our needs, our wants, everything changed. So I was like, hey, and I made that decision. I was the one that did it, not my wife, not anybody else. I'm like, this is what I want. Traded it straight across for a really good horse that our family enjoys. Awesome. Okay. So create and all of these good things. So step 3, increasing income. I didn't know when I started creating our financial plan, because I had no clue how to increase income. I had no clue what to do, how to do it, why to do it, where to do it, when to do it. I had no clue what to do. But what my wife and I did start doing is we put money in a specific account that was for the purpose of investing and growing. Now, if that was hiring a coach, if that was starting a business, if that was going to a convention, if that was buying a book, if that was whatever, or just taking that money and investing it in some investment, like a financial product or whatever. But we started labeling that money for the purpose of investing, and the investing was for the purpose of increasing income. We ended up taking that money and I invested it into my now insurance business, my agency that I have. Used that money for some things to get that going. But I had the money. You see, I see a lot of people. I see a lot of situations. I see a lot of people in the moment of, oh man, if I would have had money, I could have invested into this, or I could have started this business, or I could have bought this, or whatever. Increasing income is a step of expanding and looking outside of what we're already doing. Maybe it's starting a side hustle. Maybe it's getting a new certification. Maybe it's whatever. Or maybe you just have no freaking clue right now. But how much more of a powerful position and situation are you in if you had $5,000 saved up for the purpose of investing? 10,000, 1,000, 500, 50,000, 150,000, it doesn't matter the number. But what if you created a system and a process and a plan labeled for the purpose of increasing income, increasing your earning capabilities? I didn't understand this. I didn't know it until I experienced it. But there's been many opportunities that have come up that my wife and I have been able to take advantage of because we had money set aside, because we had this investing plan. There was a piece of land in where we live now, this little small town, and people are like, land never comes up for sale. And we're like, well, we really want to live there, so we're just going to keep looking. We just kept saving. In 2020, somebody took a 10-acre field, broke it into 1-acre lots. We found out we had enough money saved up to pay half down. We financed the other half and paid it off before we started building our house. That opportunity would never have, if we weren't in a position to buy that or to execute on that, maybe we could have financed the whole thing, but they always want something down, right? Being in a position of cash, being in a position of leverage, maybe through credit cards or debt or whatever your strategy is the power move. And so increasing income isn't always about going to your job and getting a promotion. Maybe there's things outside of you that you need to start saving and investing for, that now you have money saved. It's going to open your mind and your eyes to things that you've never seen before. opportunities you've never seen before, things that you've never seen before. The next step to increasing income, I see so many things online and other coaches where they just hound on, what do you spend? What do you spend? What do you spend? Like talking about, you stopping at Starbucks or buying coffee or buying your energy drinks. That's why you're broke. That's why you don't have money. Okay, maybe it has a little bit of a factor. Maybe you should be a little bit smarter with your money. But is it the reason why you're broke? I don't think so. Like, let's say you spend $5 a day. You got $5 a day. I'm sorry, but in today's world, it's not going to change your life. Now, if you save $5 a day and then you put that towards a purpose of increasing income, you see, that's why everybody's wealth creation plan is going to be very different. Everybody's is going to be very different. But what I'm sharing with you is, if you know your money and you create a wealth creation plan and you start becoming disciplined with it, you are going to see opportunities and you're going to know what's going on. I've had conversations with people that are like, I keep going through my budget trying to figure out what I could cut. You only can cut so much, ladies and gentlemen. Like, if you cut something out and then your rent gets raised $200, well, you're back to where you were. If you had a TV subscription that you were paying $200 a month for, and you cut that out, and then you renting somewhere and it's $1,400 a month, and now it's $1,600 a month, you're in the same exact financial position as you were before. So you need to know your money. You need to know your income. You need to know your wealth creation plan. And you need to get very, very detailed and disciplined with it. But then once you've built that, maybe it takes a month, maybe it takes 6 months, maybe it takes you a year to really get this down. But once you have it down and you know your system, you can just sit down and boom, 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 doing, my money's managed, my bills are paid, everything's good. Take 5% of your energy and now manage that system. You've created the system. Like, do any of you think about brushing your teeth? You do not have to think about it. You don't have to think about how to rotate your hand and move the toothbrush and make sure you get up by your gums. You don't have to think about that because we've heard it for however long you've been alive, right? I'm 31 years old. I've probably been hearing it for 28, 29 years since I started brushing my teeth. I've had to brush my teeth. I don't have to think about it. I can be thinking about anything in the world, and I just brush my teeth and I get done and I'm like, oh, cool, I brushed my teeth. Okay? Get your financial system so it's just, you don't even have to think about it. And take all of your other energy, I call it 5% energy on your system. Once you really get it down, 95% on increasing income, on learning about money, on learning about investing, on learning about strategy, on learning about leverage, on learning about credit cards, on learning about debt, on learning about all of the things that deal with money. Take 95% of your energy and start studying that. I just heard a thing the other day. If you spent 18 minutes every day for a year, what was that, 100 hours? Anyway, you would be in the top 1% knowledge base on whatever topic it is you studied for 18 minutes a day. Well, what if you did that about money? What if you read a couple of books? What if you watched YouTube videos? What if you studied, the stock market or crypto or life insurance or real estate or how credit cards work, how banking, how the Federal Reserve, how all of these systems work, and you gained an understanding. 18 minutes a day. Don't you think you're going to start seeing opportunities and you're going to learn things that's going to increase income like you've never seen before? So this is where and how you increase income. Know your money, step one. Create a wealth creation plan, disciplined, specific, purpose, planned out. Total incongruence. If you have a spouse, you're both on the same page. You both like the plan. You both believe in the plan. Step two, create that wealth creation plan. And then step three, take all of that extra effort and energy and all those. Think about it right now. How much time do you spend stressing about money? How much time do you spend stressing about all the other things that you're dealing with in your life? How much time do you stress about how to pay this bill and how to do this and how to manage this and all that? Well, what if you created such a good financial plan, all of that was removed, and you took all of that energy and effort and you started focusing on increasing income? Now we have more money to manage. We have more money to give a purpose and a plan to. If you make 10 grand a month, that's going to be way different opportunities than if you make 5 grand a month. Yes, it's all the same effort and energy. You can manage 5 grand a month, or you can manage 10 grand a month. If you work a 40-hour work week, wouldn't you rather make 10 grand a month than 5 grand a month? It's the same 40 hours. So what is the knowledge? What are the lessons? What are the learnings? What are the skills? What are the disciplines that you need to develop to make 10 grand a month? Don't you think that would be a better spend of time than, man, how do we cut our budget? How do we cut, inflation is killing us. You'll never win. You will never win in that mindset. You will never win operating that way. You're going to continue to see inflation. You're going to continue to see cost rise. You're going to continue to see all of these things happen. That's going to make your budget smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But if we create a wealth creation plan and we're disciplined, and then we take all of our effort, energy, time, planning, everything, and we increase our income, even $1,000 a month, even $500 a month, do you know what that's going to do for your wealth creation plan? For your financial life period? If you're 30 now and you learn this stuff now and you execute it, can you imagine what life is going to be like at age 60 if you go from making 5 grand a month to 10 grand a month to 15 grand a month to 20 grand a month, whatever your goals and dreams are? Can you imagine how different life is going to be? We can only cut so much money. You can only cut so much money. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just got one other thing that I'm going to share with you, but I hope you got value from that. I hope you take those 3 steps. Step 1, 2, and 3. Know your money, create a wealth creation plan, and then focus on where, how, when, why, where, when, why, how, where, everything. Everything you freaking think of. How to increase income. How? Have you ever thought of that? This just popped into my mind. I like board games. I like playing Monopoly. I like playing Settlers of Catan. I like playing a lot of these things. And there's been multiple times where playing with family or friends or something, playing Monopoly, and I get into a moment where I'm like, I'm about bankrupt. I'm about there. I'm about done. And I realize, I'm like, oh, man, my mindset is in scarcity. My mindset is in limitation. And I'll literally repeat in my head over and over and over, how can I win? How can I win? How can I win? What am I not seeing? What am I not looking at? What strategy have I not used? What? And there's been multiple games where I was in last place. Doesn't always work. Doesn't always happen. I mean, you still got the dice, right? You got to roll the dice and hit the right spots. But there's been multiple times where I've had a thought or an idea come into my mind of a strategy, or, hey, maybe I should sell this property to so-and-so and see if I can get double, because it would help them. But if I could get double the money, I would get double the money. And then I take all of that money and I finish buying the hotels on these properties. With that leverage, could I do that? And then I'm like, okay, I do it. And then I do it. And then somebody lands on that hotel and I'm like, oh, freak, I just got $500 million or something. Or like whatever the situation is, right? But I would not have seen that opportunity. I wouldn't have had that thought or looked at that opportunity by staying in the same frame of mind or staying in the same mindset. It goes back to the whole concept of, if you operate 2026 like you did 2025, you're going to get the same results. So what are you not seeing? What are you missing? What are you not learning? What new information do you know your money? Do you have a wealth creation plan? How are you working on increasing income? What are some opportunities? Maybe it's time to quit that freaking job that you don't like. Maybe it's time to start that business. Maybe it's time to start listening to that thing that keeps telling you inside your head to do this or do this or do this or do this, but we keep pushing it off out of fear or worry or stress or judgment or all of those things. Guys, it's time to start listening to those things. Listen to your intuition. You guys, you already know what you need to do. I guarantee everything that I just shared here, know your money. Create a plan. Increase income. We've all heard it. We have all heard it. I've heard it hundreds of freaking times, probably thousands of times. You guys, I know what food I need to eat to hit the fitness level that I need to hit. But for some reason, I freaking struggle with it. But I just need to do it. I know what type of workouts I need to do. I know I need to be better at this or this or this or this, and we just push them off. Okay? But just do it. I'm right here with you guys. I looked at 2026 and I'm like, I want it to be my year of doing. I want it to be my year of doing instead of talking about these things. So I've been learning Reddit. So there you go, guys. Those are my 3 steps to increasing income. I execute them every single month. These are things that I do all the time. If I can help you in any way, message me or comment or anything I can do to help you, let me know. But I've thought of something else. So I've to kind of finish this up. I've been learning about Reddit, like the app, literally like Reddit. I'm going to show you guys. It's like this app with the little guy right now, okay? And Reddit's kind of like another social media platform. Well, there's a lot of really cool pages in here. So I pulled it up and wanted to go through this and kind of give you guys, somebody asked a question in here. So I just want to go through it, see what you guys think. So this person, Little L-O-I-F-E, Little L-O-I-F-E. Anyway, that's the person who says, I think I'm screwed. For context, I'm now 28, and for the past 2 years, I was finishing up school and was working a part-time only 2 to 3 days a week. Been using my credit card to get through life and ended up maxing out 3 credit cards totaling $42,000, and now I have a $20,000 student loan. So there's $62,000 in debt. I now have a full-time job as well as a contractor position that makes me $8,000 a month pre-tax, give or take. Is it possible to pay off all the debt within the next 3 to 5 years, or at least the credit card debt? I honestly feel stuck and think I screwed myself. I honestly been keeping me awake at night, and I'm selling things in my place that I feel like I don't need. Figures, random tech gadgets, etc., to make some extra cash to help pour into this. I'm going to share, dude, you are not screwed. $8,000 a month. Like, do the math on that. $8,000 a month. What is that, $72,000 a year? No, we're right at, that's, guys, I'm not the strongest at math. That's $96,000 a year. Depends on your living expenses. Like, how much money do you see? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a perfect example. I didn't even read this. I literally just says, I think I'm screwed. I clicked on it, started the video, and I was like, I'm going to go with this one. I didn't even read it. Do you see why everything that I just shared in the know your money, create a wealth creation plan, and increase income, do you see where this would apply? If this gentleman, I think it's a gentleman, if this individual, if this human being, if this Homo sapien created a plan and said income, fixed expenses, variable expenses, and then put it into his plan, like what are the minimum payments on stuff? I mean, he could knock out that student loan probably in a year. And then he could knock out the other. I mean, if he could live on $30,000 a year, he could knock it out in a year, all of it in a year. Especially if they're selling some stuff and creating some side income. You're not screwed. This is the frustration. I hear people all the time, oh, I had $42,000 in debt. I had to file bankruptcy. $40,000, guys. Now, if that was $400,000 and you made $30,000 a year, yeah, you're screwed. If you have a $400,000 bill making $30,000 a year, you're screwed. But if you're making $100,000 a year and you have a $60,000 debt, you're good. Create a plan, execute the plan, and go after that. You can look at the interest on the credit cards. People need to learn how interest on credit cards work. It's actually not what people think it is. Go study credit cards. We're not going to get into that right now. I would bet that the student loan, it has a higher interest rate than the credit cards. Most of the time they do. And another thing, you guys, is you can never get out of a student loan. A lot of people don't know that. But if you file bankruptcy, the student loan's still there. Pretty much all student loans are like that. Another thing here is if you have payments on anything, split your, if you're paying $600 a month, split that into 2 payments of $300. Every time you make a payment, it recalibrates interest. And every time you recalibrate interest, more money goes to principal than interest. And so in this person's case, I would set up minimum payments so it does more minimum payments. So we're going to pay down that interest and principal a little bit quicker. And then I would tackle the student loan the first, because, you know, if he started putting, or they, whoever this is, started putting, depending on their living expenses, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month into a specific plan, I mean, they're going to have that paid off in no time. I'm more of a believer, a big person too. I like to see the build up. I like to have an emergency fund, and I don't like to label it emergency fund anymore. I like to have like a, oh crap fund. I need to come up with a new name for it. I just call mine if life happens. But this individual, I would create a plan where it's like, all right, every extra penny I'm going to put into this savings account. And every time this account gets to 10 grand, I'm going to take 8,000 of it and put down on the debt. So you always have a $2,000 buffer, because you would hate to take all of your money, pay towards that payment, and then you freaking blow a tire. And you're like, well, great, now I got to put the tire on the credit card, or my washer just went out, or my dryer just went out, or this medical bill just came up. Like, you don't want to get rid of all of your money down to nothing. And so I've always done that. I like to kind of pick an amount like, hey, when this account gets to 10 grand, I'm going to take 8, put down on the student loan. And then I'm going to focus on this wealth creation, because it's fun to see that money grow. It's fun to see that money build. And then it builds to 10 again, and then 8, and then 10 again, and 8. And he'd be done with that student loan really quick. But if you're just making payments to the loan and like you don't see it drop a lot, it's just exhausting. It's frustrating. But if you can see your wealth creation plan, the money in your system, you're like, frick, I'm making progress. Our COD calls it money to jingle in your purse. That's like back in Babylon, right? So I like that. And so I kind of took that principle from The Richest Man of Babylon, and I'm like, I want some money jingling around in my bank account. Like, I want to be able to have access to it. I want to see it. I want to feel it. I want to touch it. If I want to freaking go do something with it, I want to do it. I don't want to just send everything I have to these debt places, right? But if this individual created a plan, they'd be out of debt, I would say 2 years at the most. If they got really aggressive with it, they're not screwed at all. But they just need to know their money. They need to create a plan, and they need to focus on pouring everything they can into this. I actually just helped a gentleman set up a plan using a financial tool that I really enjoy. It was going to take him like 4 years to pay off debt. We just created a plan where he'll execute it in like 3.5 years. No, it was 5 years. We shaved off like 2 years just by creating a plan, but we're focused all of our money in one account. Okay, so it's like we're going to build, take out, pay off. Build, take out, pay off. Build, take out, pay out. So that's the strategy that I like to do, because it's inspiring. It's motivating. All right. So there we go. I wanted to do that off Reddit. I didn't plan on talking as long as I did about all this stuff at the first, but you can probably tell I'm passionate about it. I love it. This is wealth creation 101 right here. Like, those 3 steps have given me more financial excitement in my life than anything else out of everything that I've ever done. Know your money, create the plan, and then focus on increasing income, and just being disciplined and knowing and being smart, not being like silly with our money, right? You know, like going and spending $10 at the gas station every morning. Yeah, it probably is silly. You know, if you need a Monster Energy drink, man, I need a sponsorship there, you guys. Those white cans, Monsters, gosh dang, those are freaking good. Anyway, I'm guilty of stopping at the gas station and buying them. But guess what? If you go to Walmart, you get a 12-pack for the cost of what you can buy 4 at the gas station. So it's like, I get it. Like, I don't want you to just live off nothing. I want you to enjoy your life. You need to enjoy your life. You work hard every single day. Why not enjoy your money? But let's be smart about it. Let's be a little bit more disciplined and smart. I watched a video, this mom pulled up to a coffee shop, and she was ordering a coffee, and there's a girl in the back seat. She's like, hey, Mom, can I have a cookie? And she's like, no, we have cookies at home. And the daughter's like, we have coffee at home. And the husband looks at the wife, is like, touche. So then the wife's like, can I get a cookie to the order person? So it's kind of funny, right? Like, are we being smart? Are we being disciplined? Well, we got to enjoy too. You guys need to enjoy your life. I've said that. There's a way for you to be successful. There's a way for you to live the life that you want to live, to have fun, to have enjoyment, to not be so stressed and worried and all those things, and to live a good life. And at the end of the day, I think that's what all of us are after, right? I'm after living a good life. I'm after and enjoying it with my wife. My 20s went fast. I can't believe how my 20s went, how fast it went. Now I'm in my 30s, and I'm like, gosh, dang it. I got to get everything out of this that I can. I got to be more mindful of these things. And I don't want money telling me my life what it can do. I don't want to go to the restaurant and money dictate what I order. I don't want to pull up a vacation and money dictate the vacation that we go on. There is a way for all of it to happen, ladies and gentlemen, but we've got to take charge. Stop blaming everybody else. Stop blaming the government. Stop blaming all these other things that's going on. Take responsibility for ourselves. Learn what money is. Learn how money works. Create a system. Create a discipline. Create a plan. And execute the plan and live a dang good life. You guys be the master of your life. Take control of your life. Know your money. Create a plan and increase your income and get after it. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.